European Union leaders have spent the last 2 days tackling a list of mounting challenges. An uptick in migration coming across Europe's borders has sparked debate between countries. Some leaders want to build more walls to control migration. Others are hoping for diplomatic solutions.
This is what some want the future of EU migration policy to look like. At the border between Greece and Turkey, there is a massive steel barrier with one job: stop migrants and refugees from entering Europe. At the EU summit in Brussels, leaders gathered and some demanded greater measures along the bloc's external borders.
Building a wall, I don't really like the sound of it, but we need a strong, robust border protection.
After hours of talks, the Lithuanian president said the council knew what a, quote, frontline country felt like.
We cannot solve the secondary migration problem without solving primarily migration. And this primarily migration is at our border. So Lukashenko regime now will see that European Union is able to react, is able to take the decisions, and is ready to defend itself.
This is what the Lithuanian president is referring to: a group of migrants in Poland who have moved through Belarus across the border. The situation is serious. Poland has ramped up border protection, but security forces are accused of conducting violent pushbacks. The alleged actions of Belarussian President Alexander Lukashenko can be felt here in Brussels. EU leaders, often not on the same page when it comes to migration, did agree on several points at this summit, including this: a statement condemning all hybrid attacks at the EU's borders and promising to respond. The Commission was also tasked to propose changes to combat future challenges that they say are just a matter of time.
Belarus, as we're observing now, is looking at opening new routes. It has offered further visa waivers to additional third countries, and we will continue our engagement with these countries to limit this state-sponsored smuggling.
Despite these quick fixes, Commission President von der Leyen reiterated the need for a common migration and asylum policy. Fences alone won't solve the problem.
DW Brussels correspondent Barbara Vazel has been watching the summit for us. Barbara, I have to start by obviously pointing out that there appear to be a lot of unsolved problems still on the table. What did this summit achieve in the end?
Nothing much, really, Michael, because there are points in the history of the EU where everything stalls, where problems seem to be intractable, and where the leaders of governments find it impossible to move on. I mean, they did agree on condemning Lukashenko for funneling migrants into the European Union, but that was pretty much it. The other big issues, distribution of migrants within Europe, or the energy crisis, that was put off till the next summit in December. And the big fight about the rule of law, that didn't advance at all during those discussions.
A two-part question here. What steps is the EU taking to confront Belarus's sending of migrants to the Polish border, and what can be done for the migrants themselves?
What they do against Lukashenko is they're talking about further sanctions. They're trying to turn the screw against him a bit more. There's talk about, for instance, banning the Belarus airline from European airspace. Further visa sort of closures are being talked about. So that will certainly happen. They will also try to talk to the countries of origin in order to prevent people from coming and sort of disseminate the news that this is not a good idea, that people are really stuck out there in the cold in the forests of Poland or Lithuania and waiting to cross a border, and that is a really dangerous undertaking. But that's pretty much all at the moment. The question whether we want to have the total fortress Europe, build a wall along all the outside borders, the external borders of the European Union, that hasn't been solved. There is no unanimity on that.
Just in the short amount of time we have here, this summit was also presumably the last summit of German Chancellor Angela Merkel. Did the other European leaders mark the occasion in any way?
Oh, they did, indeed. They really tried to. They gave her a standing ovation. They praised her to the rafters. She was a beacon of light, a great European, a compromise machine. She made it possible. She kept the European Union together in very difficult times throughout 16 years. She was always the center of calm. I mean, there was so much praise for her. We know that she doesn't like personal attention and to be at the center of it. But she went out and she must have felt that she did something right in all those years.
That's a DW Brussels correspondent Barbara Vazel. Thanks very much.